I'm Emily and welcome once again to my channel. Today I'm going to be watching episodes 5 and 6 of Cherry Magic, and I've been so looking forward to this. I love this show, and I know some people are going to say, well, if you love this show so much, why did it take you so long to go back to it? And it's true. It's fair enough what you're saying. I had some issues in the middle, for those who watch my other reactions from The Untamed and Word of Honor. They know some of it. Basically, I just have a lot of work and then I had COVID. I don't know why with this show in particular, I find that I had to be, I don't know, it's so good that I need to be like just in the right moment to watch it. I don't know. I just keep postponing. It's like, no, this is not the right time. I watch it another day, and then here we are. So, now we are back. Now we are back to watching it. 2 episodes a week until we finish. Another reason why, I honestly hesitated about continuing, the show was because I decided to do, try to do at least mostly Chinese things in the video, like reacting to Chinese things, and obviously this is Japanese. Because I don't remember if I mentioned it, but I'm studying Chinese, and watching Chinese shows is something that is helping me a lot. So, forcing myself to sit down and react to it. Not forcing, it sounds like I actually don't enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot, and I enjoy reacting to them a lot. But I don't know, it just helps me listen and helps me to, be in contact with the language a little bit. So I decided to go mostly for Chinese shows. And obviously I was thinking, well, but what about Cherry Magic? But in the end, I just couldn't leave the series and finish. Not that I wasn't going to leave it and finish. If in the end I decided not to continue, I would have watched it on my own. But I just wanted to give the reactions. I think it's just more fun. It's just more fun than just watching the show on my own. Although I'm probably going to rewatch this show on my own a few times after this. So we are back to it. Now we actually have video. And guys, it only took me 200 years to figure out how to put video in things. But here we are. We have video at last. I started with Word of Honor putting video. And with Cherry Magic, I hesitate because I know that the people from Cherry Magic are very difficult when it comes to copyright. So I was afraid something might happen, but I don't know. From the last video I uploaded, last week I uploaded the first 4 reactions that I did for this show, and with a video, and you can see the link, somewhere. I'm going to put the link somewhere, and everything is fine. Nothing happens. So I guess we'll continue like this, with me adding video in the links below. So for these episodes, you're going to have the 2 links below with the 2 episodes. I decided to separate the episodes just so we have 2 different files. I don't know. It seems easy at the time. Actually, I haven't done it yet because I'm still reacting, but, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm going to do it. Anything else? So, I'm also, looking for new shows to react. My main shows, that are Word of Honor and The Untamed, and my main shows make me sound like Cherry Magic is not one of my main shows. I love Cherry Magic. But I know that in a few weeks I'm going to be over with them, pretty much with all of them, because, I'm going to finish in 2 weeks for the other 2. And I think with the rhythm that I'm going, it's going to be 3 weeks or something like that for Cherry Magic. So I'm looking for new shows to react. As I said, mostly Chinese. And I don't know if anybody has any recommendations or anything like that. It can be BL, or it cannot. It can be pretty much anything. I'm up to watching anything as long as not like horror or anything like that. I'll probably watch it. I'm not crazy about things that are too drama, like it's too sad and depressing. Also, I don't like that. But other than that, I'm pretty much open to anything. So if anybody has any recommendations, put them below. And that's it. We are not going to go straight to the video because I need to do a recap. And I realize that I do recaps usually for most of my videos. And let me tell you this is not... I think the people who watch reactions like this, they already know what happened in the previous episodes. Probably people who had watched the episodes a few times, so they already know. The recaps are mainly for me, so I can get my brain into what we are doing. Because that seems to work in focusing. So, I'm going to make a recap for the last 4 episodes, or the first 4 episodes of the show. If anybody wants to skip it, go ahead. I'm probably going to put the time you can skip somewhere. Maybe if I remember. They'll be there perhaps. So let's see what happened in Cherry Magic. I have some notes in front of me, but half of them I can understand the handwriting, so this is going to be great. So first episode we meet Adachi, who is very sweet, he's adorable, he's very awkward, he's shy, he works in an office, and we find out that he's also a virgin. And we meet him in the day before his 30th birthday, so he's going to be 30 the next day. And we also find out that there is this legend, this urban legend, or this myth, I don't know what it is, that if you turn 30 and you're a virgin, then you get magical powers. And it turns out that that myth was correct. The next day, Adachi wakes up and suddenly he realized that he can read people's minds when he touches them. So this is very shocking. He changes a lot of himself. Like he starts to waking up earlier so he doesn't have to touch anybody, to go to the office when there's nobody there. So you don't have to ride the elevator full of people. So, it changes his life a little bit, but the real change comes when he accidentally touches Kurosawa, who is pretty much the darling of the office. He's gorgeous, he's successful, he's charming, he's really, the full package. And he hears that this guy is actually in love with him. And he doesn't take it great. At first, At first, he suspected that maybe he was imagining the whole thing, but then he realized that no, it actually happened. So, he's dealing with this huge crisis for him. Kurosawa is in love with him. He doesn't know how to react because he's very awkward, but also he's never been in a relationship. And, this is something that makes him, I don't know if uncomfortable, but he needs to get used to the idea. Let's just put it that way. So, one day he stays late to do some job, and who is there but Kurosawa, who obviously comes, he brought him a drink, offered help, and all of that. They work together. We have some, one of the things that I enjoy most about this show is to hear Kurosawa's thoughts and seeing how different are for his, from the person he portrays, that the person he presents to the world. Like he presents to the world this, this successful guy, this put together guy. And when we hear his thoughts, he's all over the place. Whenever he's close to Adachi, it's like, no, game over. This guy is something else. And I love that. And essentially they stay late one night, this night, and, Kurosawa invites Adachi to stay with him because otherwise I think Kurosawa was going to stay in a cyber cafe or something like that. Is that a cyber cafe, or am I just inventing the cyber part? I don't know. But he wasn't going to go home because there weren't any more trains to his house to go back to his home. So, that's where we stop. But before we stop the episode, we have a literal montage of Kurosawa's fantasy of just Adachi being in his house, wearing pajamas, being adorable, looking soft, and it was incredible. One of my favorite parts of the show, and this is the second time I say this, but let's say another thing that I find, from this show great is those times we can see Kurosawa's mind, and we can see that. I love it. The music, the soft light, it was perfect. So the episode stops there, and then we go to the second episode where we find out that Adachi actually accepted the invitation and he goes stay with Kurosawa. We have a moment where Adachi and Kurosawa sort of bond over liking, I think it was, I don't know if there were snacks or something like that, and also I think it was manga. I'm not sure. Now I don't remember if it was manga, if it was like a novel. I think it was probably manga. So, you can see them bonding about that, which is nice. And we also have, Kurosawa cooking for him. And we find out that he actually has researched what, Adachi likes. And that is something that sometimes happens, that because we hear Kurosawa's thoughts all of the time, without any filter. Obviously, he's not thinking that anybody's listening to his thoughts. So that's the moment we just can say anything without, just obviously not say anything. But when we think, we don't have any kind of restriction, I think. So he sometimes says things that maybe are a little bit creepy. But I think, to me, what makes the character not creepy is that knowing that those are his thoughts, as he's not actually saying anything or acting creepy. And I don't know, when I think about things, I don't control myself, or I don't feel the need to say, no, don't think this. So we are getting essentially something that he's not actually editing or anything like that. So that's one of the times we said, when we find out that he has been researching Adachi's taste, that is like, maybe that's a little bit too much. But, in the context, I'm fine with it. Then we also meet Suge, who is Adachi's friend from university. He is a writer. He's a writer of romance novels, and he's known as the master of romance. So obviously, Adachi goes and asks him for advice. He tells him about the new powers. He tells him about Kurosawa, and Suge doesn't believe him. Essentially, he doesn't think, he thinks that maybe he's having a breakdown or something like that, like he's not doing well, or, he doesn't think he's actually telling the truth. And then, Adachi accidentally touches Suge, and he finds out that, Suge can't actually give him any advice because he's a virgin himself. And that is the revelation of the episode. Then what happened? What did I write there? At the end of the episode, we have a moment that Kurosawa helps Adachi with something, and then he hears Kurosawa saying, that how much he likes Adachi and how highly he thinks of him and how he should have been helping him all along. And he says that he wants to be close to him, even if it's as friends, or something like that. And Adachi, in a moment of just illumination, he decides that he cannot ignore what Kurosawa said, and he accepts a little bit, maybe not all of it, maybe not all that is Kurosawa's feelings, but that he has to do something about it. So he chases after him, and he stops an elevator, and he's going to say something, and that's where the episode ends. And with that, we move to episode number 3, which Adachi asks Kurosawa to go eat something somewhere. It's not a date necessarily, or at least Adachi doesn't consider it a date. Kurosawa maybe yes, and actually not maybe, we know that he considers it a date. But at this point, Adachi, I don't think he's ready for, to go to a full date. He's still getting used to the idea of Kurosawa having feelings for him. So the idea is just going to have a bite or something, and then they end up in a work outing. One of the characters, whose name I didn't write down, and now I don't remember his name, but hopefully I will at some point, maybe during this video. This guy tells them that they, the boss invited us to go eat, so they have to go eat, and everybody from work is there, and, Adachi is not happy. Kurosawa is not happy because he thought he was going to be in a date with Adachi. And at some point, they decided to play a game, which I think is highly inappropriate to play, with your, with the people that you work. This is, I'm not even sure I'll play. Well, I don't know. Maybe with friends I'll think about it, but I don't think this is a game that you should be playing with, I know the words, your colleagues, let's say colleagues. So they play this game in which two people take, they have like little sticks, and if you get the same, I think it's the same number or something like that, then those two people have to do something, based on someone who is, I think, the king or something like that. And this woman gets to be the king and decides to make them kiss. And that I do find very creepy. And you think that Kurosawa is going for it, but then at the last minute, he goes and kisses his forehead and just leaves. And then we find out that when he kissed his forehead, he said, sorry or something like that, which was, heartbreaking. So, Adachi goes after Kurosawa. He has a moment with this other character whose name I didn't write down, so I'm not going to mention it, although I just did, but, he does something nice for that guy. That's essentially what happened. And then he goes to Kurosawa, who is, outside. He's just looking at the city sorrowfully. And, they have a little conversation in which, in his mind, Kurosawa apologizes to Adachi for being in love with him, another heartbreaking moment. And then Adachi again gets one of his, I don't know how to call it, bursts of, today the English words are it's just not on my mind. A burst of bravery. And he just told him that he actually wouldn't have mind to, if Kurosawa had kissed him. So Kurosawa takes this as a very open invitation, so he goes for it. He goes for the kiss, and the episode ends with them just, with Kurosawa just grabbing Adachi and then their mouth getting closer, and Adachi's eyes just open, like in shock. And that is how that episode ends. And at some point during this episode, we also find out that Suge is also a virgin and also has powers. The way we find out is because there is this delivery boy, and I use delivery boy very, I mean, I know he's not, that young, but he does look quite young. But I think he's probably like early 20s or something like that. But I don't know. He just have a very youthful face. So there is this delivery boy, and, he brings things for Suge's cat, Udon, and accidentally they touch, and he hears the thoughts of this guy. And then we find out that Suge also has powers. And, then we get that this happens in the middle of the episode. It doesn't happen at the end. The episode ends with Adachi and Kurosawa about to kiss, but I just forgot to mention it before. Episode 4, the last one that I've seen. So in this episode, Suge and Adachi are going crazy. They're just going insane. They both have to deal with, whatever is happening in their life. And as for Adachi, he's actually avoiding Kurosawa. And at this point, we also met another character who works at the office that is called Fushisaki, I think. She, at first she seems to like Adachi, but then we find out that, she likes him, but it's not, like in a romantic way. She just likes him. And I think maybe there was some hints that maybe she was asexual or something like that. But I'm not sure. And also right away, she sees the vibe between, Kurosawa and Adachi and said, oh, Kurosawa is in love with this guy. So that's adorable. That's adorable. I really like her. And we also have a moment with Kurosawa saving Adachi, like just casually, almost breaking a guy's wrist. And I loved it. He just... he almost had a heart attack when he saw somebody annoying Adachi, or not annoying, he was actually bullying him. So, when this happened, Adachi got hurt, I think in the hand or something like that. And Kurosawa decided to, offered to help him. And when he's curing him, Adachi can hear that Kurosawa, is really sad because he thinks that he annoyed, Adachi with maybe, how present he wanted to be with him. So, Adachi doesn't like this. And I think he also likes maybe seeing some vulnerability from Kurosawa, because again, Kurosawa is a character that appears to be, just perfect. He's perfect. He's put together. He's successful. He's charming. So I think that is also very intimidating for Adachi, and seeing this moment of self-doubt and this moment of vulnerability is something that I think also helps Adachi maybe accepting a little more Kurosawa's feelings. Right at the end of the episode, we have Kurosawa, who seems to be in trouble with this boss from somewhere. I don't know. It seems this guy is not happy with him. And Adachi just decides to do something. We don't know what. He pushes some folders into what I think is his boss's just chest. He just pushes his, and he's decided to do something and help Kurosawa, and that's the last thing that happened from the last episode that I seen. So now now what I have to see is what is Adachi going to do to this guy. I guess he's going to try to use his powers to help him, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Okay, so this was 21 minutes. I'm so sorry. This is almost my recap of the episodes is almost as long as the episode that I'm going to watch. But there we go. This is what we have. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to include this in the actual video from the reaction. I'm going to leave this on YouTube for anybody who wants to, for some reason, listening to me do this. So, if you're